Did any famous Chinese female kung fu warriors exist? The literal translation of kung fu means skill acquired through hard training and does not necessarily refer only to combat. The term became synonymous with Chinese martial arts, mainly due to Bruce Lee's films and popular culture. However, China has a rich history of combat styles, from Taoist wushu to the Shaolin monks' techniques, and within this history, we find strong and courageous women who left their mark. One of them was Liang Hongyu, a famous warrior from the Song dynasty, who was not only a fighter in the traditional sense, but also a master of military strategy. She used drum signals to command armies, fought in naval battles, and earned the respect of male commanders. Although Chinese history does not feature many women who became kung fu icons in the classical sense, there are legends of female warriors who mastered martial arts and became heroines, such as Mu Guiying, who led armies, and the legendary Fan Li Hua. Their stories show that women in Chinese history were not just passive figures, but often played key roles in warfare, diplomacy, and military strategy. One of the most famous Chinese female warriors was Liang Hongyu, a woman who did not surrender to fate, but fought to shape her own destiny. When did she live, and what led her to the path of war? Liang Hongyu lived in the 12th century during the rule of the Song dynasty. She was born into a military family and grew up among warriors from an early age. Her father was an officer, so instead of receiving the traditional upbringing for girls, she learned martial arts and military strategy. When she married General Han Shizhong, she did not remain in the background. Instead, she stood by his side, leading armies and earning fame as a strategist and commander. Her fate was not determined by birth, but by the skills she built for herself. Being a woman in the military was rare, but becoming a military legend was nearly impossible. However, Liang Hongyu proved that on the battlefield, gender does not matter, only skill does. What victories made her famous? Liang Hongyu's greatest military achievement was the Battle of Huangtiandang in 1130. In this battle, she led the Song dynasty fleet against a stronger enemy from the Jin dynasty. She did not stand in the front lines with a sword, but instead used strategy and intelligence, coordinating attacks with drums and using a river ambush to trap the enemy army for 3 months. She was not only a warrior, but also a master of the psychology of warfare, making her one of the most respected commanders of her time. Drums had long been known in the Chinese military, but Liang Hongyu used them in a way no one had before. What made her approach to military tactics unique? Drums had been used in Chinese warfare for centuries to issue commands and boost soldiers' morale, but Liang Hongyu was the first to systematically use them to command a fleet in a naval battle. In the Battle of Huangtiandang in 1130, she transformed them into a precise navigational and tactical tool, coordinating the movements of ships and directing army attacks. Her innovative approach influenced military tactics for generations to come, as organized sound signaling became a standard in warfare. Under her command, simple war drums became a strategic instrument of victory. In a patriarchal society where military leadership belonged to men, how did soldiers perceive Liang Hongyu? Did they respect her, or did she face doubt? In an army where men led and fought, one might expect that a woman in a commanding position would face resistance. However, Liang Hongyu did not demand respect with words. She earned it through actions. As the daughter of a soldier, she was surrounded by discipline and martial arts from childhood, which allowed her to stand alongside men as an equal. Soldiers did not see her as an exception, but as a commander who knew how to lead. when she directed them with precise drum signals during the Battle of Huangtiandang and secured victory, all doubts disappeared. On the battlefield, gender was irrelevant. What mattered was the ability to bring one's men home alive, and in that, Liang Hongyu was unmatched. Was Liang Hongyu the only woman of her time to lead an army? Were there female warriors in 12th century Europe who could compare to her? Although women on the battlefield were rare, Liang Hongyu was not the only one to earn military respect in the 12th century. In Europe, we can find similar figures such as Matilda of Tuscany, who led armies in battles over papal authority, or Nicola de la Haye, who defended Lincoln Castle against siege. However, while European female warriors mostly fought in defense or within political conflicts, Liang Hongyu was a professional strategist who led an army on the front lines, and her tactical contributions influenced military warfare for generations to come. In this, she remains unique among female commanders. Why was Liang Hongyu able to become a military commander, while women in Europe were not allowed into the army? What distinguished the Chinese and European military environments? Liang Hongyu was able to become a military commander because China at the time had a different approach to war and army organization than Europe. The Song dynasty had a centralized military and military academies, where expertise was valued more than gender differences. If someone had talent and abilities, they could rise through the ranks. Although China was patriarchal, it was also pragmatic. Success and results mattered more than gender. In contrast, in Europe, the military was not centralized. It was controlled by individual noblemen and was considered an exclusively male domain, where power was inherited, leaving women with no opportunity to enter. Additionally, Europe was religiously rigid, with the church enforcing strict gender roles, making women in the army socially and institutionally unacceptable. There was also a difference in the style of warfare. European battles were dominated by heavy cavalry and close combat, where physical strength, armor, and sword fighting played the key role. In contrast, Chinese warfare relied more on strategy, emphasizing archery, war machines, and long-range tactics, allowing those who were not physically stronger to still excel. This is why Liang Hongyu was able to succeed. She had skills, military education, and in a world where victories determined status, her gender was not an obstacle. In Europe, however, she would never have been given such an opportunity. Nearly 1,000 years have passed since the time of Liang Hongyu. Can her legacy still be relevant today? What can we take from her story into the modern world? Even after a millennium, the story of Liang Hongyu remains inspiring, not just because it speaks of war, but because it highlights strategy, courage, and the ability to succeed in a world that was not ready for a strong woman. Today, women no longer have to fight with swords, but many still face challenges in the workplace, in leadership roles, and in a society where prejudices persist. Her tactical thinking teaches us that victory does not always mean direct confrontation. Sometimes, strategy, the ability to anticipate an opponent's moves and making the most of one's strengths, are far more important. Just like her, we must understand that respect is not given freely. It is earned through actions, composure, and the ability to lead. In today's world, her legacy lives on in every woman who carves out a place in a male-dominated field, in every leader who understands that wars are not won by brute force, but by wisdom. Liang Hongyu shows us that true leadership is not about who you are, but about what you are capable of achieving.